The US has by far the largest defense budget in the world. It's been at the forefront of many groundbreaking technologies when it comes to military weapons, like fifth-generation fighters, stealth bombers, etc. But there are areas where China has made considerable progress. Ground and ship-based anti-ship missile and medium-range surface-to-surface missiles. The US has been fighting with adversaries that have no or very small navy like Iraq or Afghanistan. All this while, China was not on the radar. America was focusing on military assets that were more in line with these battles, like the development of drones. But things have changed in the last decade, and China has emerged as a major threat. Rear Admiral Randy Kreitz said, "China has grown their battle fleet to about 335 surface ships, and that's occurred over the last 10 years as they've shifted from a buildup of their homeland defense forces and moved to the sea in an expansionist role around the globe." Keeping this in view, U.S. military is focusing on anti-ship missiles. Harry Harris, the former commander of U.S. Pacific Command, who is now U.S. ambassador to South Korea, in a testimony submitted to Congress in 2018, pointed out that China is not a signatory of any treaty such as the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or INF Treaty, and used it to develop a large arsenal of missiles. As per him, the Chinese rocket forces have more than 2,000 ballistic and cruise missiles, almost 95% of which would violate the INF Treaty if China was a signatory. INF Treaty was signed by Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev in 1987. It banned ground launch missiles with ranges from 500 kilometers to 5,500 kilometers. That's 310 to 3,420 miles. The U.S. under the Trump administration suspended its compliance with the INF Treaty on the 2nd of February 2019, blaming Russia for non-compliance, and is no longer handicapped when it comes to developing ground launch missiles. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the U.S. will counter China with 5 weapons designed specifically to take on the Chinese military. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. Currently, the U.S. Army has MGM-140 Army Tactical Missile System, ATAC-MS. It has a range of over 100 miles or 160 kilometers with solid propellant. America is already working towards a system that will have a range of 499 kilometers, just below the 500-kilometer range restriction of the INF Treaty. The program is designated as Precision Strike Missile, or PRSM. The U.S. Army recently carried out a successful test of a precision strike missile. The test, the third in the series for the PRSM, tested the missile's short-range performance and precision, with the projectile flying over a range of 85 kilometers. The success brought the ongoing testing record of PRSM to 3 for 3. 2 previous tests took place in December and March 2019. In a statement, Brigadier General John Rafferty, director of the Army's Long Range Precision Fires Cross-Functional Team, said the test was the shortest and most challenging yet for the system. PRSM is capable of longer ranges than 499 kilometers, and since the INF Treaty is now invalidated, testing to longer ranges is expected in the future. The Littoral Combat Ship, LCS, is a set of 2 classes, the Independence and Freedom. Construction of the Freedom class is spearheaded by Lockheed Martin at Fincantieri Marinette Marine Shipyard in Wisconsin, while that of Independence-class ships is led by Austal USA in Alabama. These are relatively small, agile, stealthy surface vessels. But there's a catch. These are being armed with a potent anti-ship missile, NSM, so that they can take on much larger enemy warships. The NSM, or Naval Strike Missile, is the upgrade of Kongsberg's Penguin short to medium range anti-ship guided missile. The missile has a range of 100 miles or 185 kilometers. NSM is capable of high subsonic speeds and can be used as an anti-ship missile as well as for taking out land targets. It has sea skim mode, by which it travels very close to the surface, making it hard to detect and intercept. It's also designed to maneuver to avoid enemy defenses. It's equipped with 276 pounds or 125 kilograms multi-purpose blast fragmentation warhead. NSM features an imaging IR seeker, which is complemented by inertial GPS navigation. The missile also has a built-in database of representative ship types to distinguish between intended targets and other objects. NSM will be placed on the decks of LCSs through a proprietary canister launcher. An LCS will be capable of carrying up to 8 NSMs. The Tomahawk land attack missile, TLAM, is a long-range, all-weather, jet-powered subsonic cruise missile that's primarily used by the United States Navy warships and submarines. U.S. Navy has thousands of Block 4 variant of the missile. These will be upgraded to Block 5. The important aspect is that Block 5 is adding anti-ship capability. The Maritime Strike variant will have a new seeker capable of precisely identifying and targeting moving warships at sea. So soon, the U.S. will have a long-range, highly accurate anti-ship missile that could be launched from multiple platforms, including Arleigh Burke-class destroyers and Ticonderoga-class cruisers that have 92 and 122 vertical launch system cells, respectively. The AGM-158C LRASM long-range anti-ship missile is a stealthy anti-ship cruise missile developed for the United States Air Force and United States Navy by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. The LRASM was intended to pioneer more sophisticated autonomous targeting capabilities than the U.S. Navy's current Harpoon anti-ship missile, which has been in service since 1977. The U.S. Navy was authorized by the Pentagon to put the LRASM into limited production as an operational weapon in February 2014 as an urgent capability stopgap solution to address range and survivability problems with the Harpoon and to prioritize defeating enemy warships. The U.S. military is expecting an environment where enemies try to jam or destroy GPS, making it difficult to target opponents. AGM-158C is designed to meet these challenges with autonomous targeting. Beyond its anti-jamming digital GPS, LRASM will also rely on a two-way data link, a radar sensor that can detect ships, and a day and night camera for positive identification and final targeting. It's estimated that the LRASM has a range of 300 nautical miles or 560 kilometers. LRASM is armed with a proven 1,000-pound penetrator and blast fragmentation warhead. It can be launched from FA-18 ENF Super Hornet, B-1B Lancer, Mark 41 vertical launch system of Arleigh Burke-class destroyer and Ticonderoga-class cruiser, and F-35 Lightning II. The U.S. has two nuclear-tipped capable cruise missiles, AGM-86B air-launched cruise missile with W-80 warhead and BGM-109A Tomahawk, also armed with W-80, though the warheads are currently kept in reserve. BGM-109A Tomahawk is meant to be fired from land-based launchers, surface ships, and submarines. AGM-86B is an air-launched cruise missile having a range of 1,500 miles or 2,400 kilometers. The AGM-86B has subsonic speed and carries a W-80 thermonuclear warhead with a variable yield of between 5 and 150 kilotons of TNT. But the missile was developed starting in 1982, and the American military strategists feel there's a need to replace it with something more advanced. The W-80 will also be replaced by a new one. LRSO, or Long Range Standoff Weapon, will be the weapon to replace AGM-86B. The U.S. Air Force plans to spend up to about $2.8 billion on the LRSO program through 2022. The service has estimated that it will spend nearly $10 billion to acquire about 1,000 LRSO missiles. This doesn't include the cost of a new nuclear warhead version under development. The range is expected to be similar or a bit more than AGM-86B. There's no concept image released by Raytheon, but the missile is expected to have stealth characteristics so as to make it low observable. The missile is also likely to feature anti-jamming capabilities so that it can't be deceived by the enemy's electronic countermeasures or ECM attacks. The LRSO missile is being designed to be carried by the current fleet of bombers: B-52 Stratofortress, B-1B Bone, B-2 Spirit, as well as B-21 Raider.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.